in. Thanks so much for being with us on this fine Thursday. Welcome to the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation this week. He'll be back on Monday. Ryan O'Halloran, the sports columnist of the Florida Times-Union, good enough to join us again. We haven't chased him away yet. JJ LaSelva here. I am Hayes Carline. What a day. This could be one in terms of sports and gambling that we remember for quite some time. Ryan, I know you got a lot of thoughts, and the floor is going to be yours momentarily. Just set the scene for you guys. In our next segment, Greg McGarity, the executive director of the Gator Bowl, is going to join us. You guys know McGarity's expertise. He was Foley's right-hand man at Florida for many years. He was the athletic director at Georgia, hired Kirby Smart. So obviously we're going to ask him about the Gator Bowl, the ACC side of it, the SEC side, but we're going to get into Napier, Kiffin, Norvell. Greg's always a great resource for us on that stuff. We're going to have a scholar athlete at 440. We're certainly excited about that. And we're going to talk tons of Jaguars. Again, Ryan, part 2 of Ryan's exclusive meeting with Liam Cohen is going to publish here shortly. The part 1 is already out. Definitely should give that a look on Jacksonville.com if you have not already read it. We talked about that yesterday. Looking forward to talking about Liam's thoughts on Trevor Lawrence and Travis Hunter, among other things that Ryan documented in part 2. But what a day. We got lots to get to, but let's start with this. Obviously, anytime the head of the FBI is involved in the sports landscape, it's big news. What do you make of this massive arrests that the feds led today, including Chauncey Billups, the Portland coach, and Miami guard Terry Rozier?
This is a bleep show for the NBA, and because it's the intersection of sports, gambling, and the mob. And that's, if you're sports, you never want to be really with the mob, because this is the stuff movies made of. I'll give just a brief summation before I get my thoughts. And really this thing today, this story is sort of 2 paths. The first path is Rozier. I think he's in deep trouble.
Yeah, he's done.
He's done. Jonte Porter, this is how it started. He was banned for life. He got ripped. So Rozier basically faked an injury.
Yeah.
And he let people know he's getting ready to fake an injury. And this is, I'll sum it up with this. This is pure greed. Rozier has made $26 million this year, was supposed to be his salary. Yet when he leaves that game, there were 30 bets in 46 minutes totaling $13,000.
That's amazing.
So you're still playing. That's the juice, the playing, the competitiveness, the edge. You still have that when you're playing, but it also speaks to, okay, what was his financial predicament? What kind of hole had he dug himself? And the other path is Chauncey Billups, who pure greed. He made over $100 million as a player, and now he's a coach making 4.5 to 7, maybe more than that. And the mob calls and says, hey, you want to come fix some poker games for us in the Hamptons? Sure.
Right.
Okay.
Was that wrong?
Should I have not done that?
Should I have not done that? So, I got to plead ignorance here.
Yeah, and then you got Damon Jones, who leaked inside information about injuries to bettors and got paid for that information. And then the information he leaked one time was not true, and the team won the game, the Lakers. The bettors, which was the mob, says, we want our money back. Well, then you're getting yourself into a real hole here. So Rozier's done, but what it does is
Billups is done.
Billups is done. I mean, now if you're Billups, you're saying, okay, who can I flip on? And
right.
Well, I end up in several pieces at the bottom of the East River in New York. So the NBA, and you talk about when all this sports gambling started, this was inevitable because it's so easy. You have an app, you have an account, you have a credit card.
There's player props.
Yeah, and the individual player props in the NBA. You look at the other sports, football would be tough to shave. Basketball is so easy. Brick a shot. Ouch, my ankle.
Right.
So that's why you're seeing this in basketball. And and if you're the NBA, you should have seen this coming. If you're Adam Silver, you have a big problem on your hands, because what it does today is people are questioning the integrity of the game, and that's all you have is a pro sports. We both love pro wrestling, but we know it's staged.
Right.
It's called sports entertainment. We don't bet on it.
Right.
And so we're there to be entertained. The sports thing is there is investment. There is people pay money to see, okay, What's going to happen? I want everything on the up and up. This is why injury reports are important. So, these leagues made a deal with the devil when they all jumped at the money of the apps when the betting first became legal. And so this can't be a surprise. And one thing I want to ask Greg McGarity later, this is on the heels, unrelated, of yesterday, where the NCAA in all of its wisdom says college athletes can now bet on pro sports. What can possibly go wrong there?
Right.
So this is a fascinating case to follow. And also, okay, what is next? Because Terry Rozier is not the only player to do this.
He probably, shared it with some other play. Like, you'll never believe what I'm doing.
Yeah.
This is the easiest money I've ever. But to your point, it's just stunning the amount for somebody that has made that amount of money. But again, you don't know what these guys do in the off season. You don't know how they invest, spend their money. And anyway, it's
it also might not be that he owed money. It might be he's being blackmailed into doing this by the mafia. That to me is much more likely than a guy that loses 160. He's made over $150 million in his career.
Do you get a sense that this story dies today?
No,
I don't.
Because this
is going to be an NFL problem. It's going to be a problem in any sport that exists today.
Already had it in baseball earlier this year.
Right.
Because the feds got on the scent with the Porter case. He was banned from the NBA. Well, then they started going through the data there and the evidence there. Oh, look at this. The best line from one of the government officials today: 5 families of the mob rigged poker with the help of a current NBA coach.
Oh, that's a journalist's dream right there.
If I was at the press conference, I would have said, bravo, way to go. So,
it's an incredible story, and of course, with my luck, Florida will hire Lane Kiffin. They'll start next season 5-0, and then they'll have 39 players banned for gambling. But we'll see.
DJ Lagway being investigated,
right? But that this is going to be an issue. That this is not going to be the last that you hear this, and it's going to be fascinating. And it's a shame for the NBA because they had a lot of great stories last night. Wemby was incredible. I mean, he's just he might be. Shohei Ohtani, what he's doing in baseball, obviously, is we've never seen that. And I'm not even an NBA fan, but to see a guy that's 7'5" with the ability to command the ball and finish plays, he is spectacular.
Yeah, and the thing is how much he can do away from the bucket. 3-pointer, lead the break, but the only thing that when you watch him play that concerns you is injuries. Because a big man who is probably still growing, that is an injury risk, and so that to me that's going to be the only thing that stops him. I think that I'll have a very unpopular opinion here. The best thing for him is that Greg Popovich is no longer his coach.
Yeah.
Because they needed to start fresh with the Spurs, and well, you can't make fun of Pop. He's good to the media. No, he's not.
Right.
So, but anyways.
Yeah, and in terms of local stuff, the Magic beat the Heat. Walter Clayton Jr. was really impressive in his debut with the Jazz. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists in 18 minutes off the bench. So it's just for the NBA, you're just starting your season. There's some really good immediate storylines, and you have this really sully your league.
I mean, really, you go back with the NBA, you go back to Tim Donaghy, referee.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, this is.
the Michael Jordan rumors.
Right.
That was.
Yeah. That goes back 30 years.
Yeah, that was mafia stuff.
Yeah, so it'll be fascinating to see what else comes of this. Let's get a quick thought on the NFL. We'll break down this game in greater detail later, but big game tonight. Chargers at Vikings. Again, this is big for the Jaguars. You're 4-3. I mean, you need a Minnesota win tonight. I know you're going to play the Chargers later, but you need the Chargers to take losses. And we're going to break down the AFC race and look at the teams who we believe in, who we do not believe in. But it's a fantastic matchup because you have Justin Herbert going up against that Flores defense. And obviously we'll see what Wentz can deliver offensively for the Vikings. But I'm really excited to watch this one tonight.
Yeah, and I think the Chargers are going to bounce back. I mean, they probably are very still ticked off over Sunday, losing at home to the Colts. Were never really in the game. I think they maybe got within 14 a couple times.
Tried to rally late, but just dug too big a hole.
And if you're Harbaugh and Greg Roman on this Chargers offense, you look at this Viking defense against Philadelphia. It's not last year's Viking defense. Just too many different players, and you have Harrison Smith back there at safety. At this stage, he's really on the downslide. And then Carson Wentz. The subplot for tonight, I think Al and Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit will mention it, is J.J. McCarthy's healthy.
Yeah.
And he's not playing. So, I mean, to me, are they putting him on ice for a while after a game and a half saying, hey, Carson Wentz is the least of, two bad quarterbacks. So I would expect the Chargers to win. But to your point, if the Chargers do lose, that drops them to 4-4. That's below the Jaguars.
Right.
And so that makes that head-to-head game in a couple weeks here, I think that's their next home game.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, that's an AFC game. Tie breaks are going to matter.
Without a doubt. When we come back on the Frangie Show, Greg McGarity will join us to talk all sorts of college football. The executive director of the Gator Bowl will give us he always has his board. We always look forward to seeing that, and it's been wild times in both those conferences. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
When the defense delivers, victories pile up.
This is where you find out what you're made of on defense.
Superior Fence and Rail highlights the defensive player of the game.
Down he goes!
On 1010XL. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
It's holiday season and it's not too late to find the perfect spot to celebrate with your team. Fourscore is a place that brings the energy, where great food, craft drinks, and unreal vibes meet cutting-edge full-swing simulators. Don't play golf? Do not worry. With over 40 interactive games, Fourscore has something that everyone will enjoy. Perfect for company outings, birthdays, and even private events that go beyond the ordinary. With locations in historic San Marco and centrally located Gate Parkway, Fourscore is ready to make your next celebration unforgettable. Hit the easy button and book your event today at fourscoregolf.com.
This is Hayes Carline for Atlantic Infinity. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise, free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter. And you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor, climate-controlled showroom. It's cool, comfortable, and hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff. Or browse anytime at AtlanticInfinity.com.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Drafted by the Jags, built by the Gators, Chris Doran joins the drill with Dan and Jeff to talk college football with you. Tuesday mornings at 7:20 on 1010XL. Protected by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah.
Hey folks, it's Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Glass, and I think you deserve a spa-like shower, don't you? Get rid of that dirty, dated setup you have in your bathroom. Those old-style showers can be really ugly. Install a gorgeous frameless shower with thick, sexy glass and a free diamond coating protection that's easier to clean, like Rain-X for your shower. Your bathroom will feel like a luxury spa every morning and night. You deserve it. Visit my friends at leeandkatesglass.com.
You're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,700 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation, but only until October 31st. 18-month financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece. Premium flooring, take our advice. Home of business, affordable price. Driveways, pool decks, garage doors, beautiful patios, and more to explore. Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, you look troubled. Is something bugging you?
This friendship isn't all upside for me, Jason. People keep asking me stuff about you.
They ask you about me?
Is it really cooler with Bueller, they ask? So I say, totally. And they say, how do you mean that? And I say, he fixes air conditioners, which literally makes somebody cool. But he also has cool sunglasses and cool people and a cool family.
And I try to make working at Bueller Air and Plumbing a really cool experience for our technicians and plumbers. We treat our people like gold, and they treat our homeowners the exact same way.
Great. Well, now there's another cool thing I've got to remember. This is a lot of responsibility, Jason.
Life can get hectic sometimes. If you don't take a moment to slow down and appreciate all the cool parts, you could miss it.
Do people ask you about me at all?
Weirdly, they do.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
E to the T here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find the scratch kitchen that comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Come on, somebody.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
The College Football Report is presented each week by the Gator Bowl with Executive Director Greg McGarity. Here's Greg with the Frangie Show crew.
We always appreciate our time with Greg McGarity, Executive Director of the Gator Bowl. Greg, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us.
You bet. My pleasure, Hayes. Hope you're doing well, too.
We are. We're doing great. I've got Ryan O'Halloran here. Frank's enjoying a week of vacation, so we've got lots to get to. Let's start with FSU's loss at Stanford and the ACC picture in general. How surprised were you by that result? And as it sits on the ACC side of things, what stands out to you at this point, Greg?
Well, I think that was a disappointing loss because, we were hopeful that FSU could maybe get to 8 or 9 wins this year so they could be in our game. But, they certainly didn't help themselves out at Stanford. And, Louisville kind of threw a monkey wrench in a lot of things because Miami now, they may not even make the championship game in the ACC if Virginia and Georgia Tech come through undefeated. So a lot of things going on, but Louisville certainly was very impressive and certainly did a phenomenal job there. But so did SMU, beating Clemson at Clemson. So two teams that we were hoping to maybe attract, Clemson and FSU, look like long shots now.
Hey, Greg, let's switch to the SEC. A full slate of league games except for Florida and Georgia. Which ones are you guys going to have your eyes on this weekend?
Wow, what a triple header.
Yeah.
I think they're all kind of elimination games from the college football playoff, at least for 5 out of 6 teams. But, the Oklahoma game is really going to be intriguing with Ole Miss. And then, of course, Vandy continue their storybook season with a win over Missouri. And it's a huge game for both those schools. And then the nightcap, A&M and LSU. Can LSU rally? And, we'll just have to wait and see. But LSU's offense has been kind of disappointing this year. And, they're coming off the heels of a tough loss at Vandy. So it's going to be a great day for SEC football.
Without a doubt. And in regards to the ACC side of things, if Miami doesn't make the ACC title game, would they be in play possibly with another loss for you guys, or would it be the loser of Georgia Tech, Virginia? What's your guess on how that would work?
That's a great call there because, Miami, if they have another loss in the ACC, then obviously those other two schools would have to have a couple losses. And Tech's schedule sets up great. I think they're going to go 11-0 until they face Georgia, but still 11-0 will get them to Charlotte. So you just have to wait and see. We thought that, one time FSU was there only with obviously 4 teams back in those days, but it's really going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. But, you can't sleep on Virginia either.
Hey, Greg, switching gears to the news of the week here with Florida coach Billy Napier being fired. You're one of the rare people who can relate to Scott Strickland walking into that office and walking out of that office on Sunday. What do you think the emotions were for Scott over the weekend as he made this decision?
Well, I know those decisions are so difficult because, it doesn't only affect your head football coach, but, probably 50 other individuals because you've got been through it one time with Jeremy at Florida when Ron Zook was let go during the season, but he kept on coaching the team. So I think a lot of sometimes you have to fear when you make a decision in the middle of the year is where are the minds of all those others, because I promise you their families probably want to know where they're going to be in a couple of months. So I know they're focused on the next opponent the rest of the season, but I'm sure they're probably focusing on their next professional steps because chances are very few of them would be retained.
Gator Bowl Executive Director Greg McGarity joining us. So, Greg, now that Scott Strickland has made the move and can conduct this, in an open fashion, doesn't have to backchannel anything, what are the opening steps this week that you think Scott Strickland is going through as he starts to vet and come up with the list?
Well, I feel very confident that Scott's not making any calls to any head coaches. That probably is all of everything that's in the undercurrent, so to speak. There may be discussions with agents. There may be, you just don't know. I do know that getting an early start, is kind of unusual because I don't know what you can really do other than just do your due diligence on certain coaches and maybe research them even more. But these guys that you're really maybe focusing in, they'll be playing football through Christmas time more than likely if they're good enough for the college football playoffs. So it's FSU's taking an approach to where they're.
Uh-oh. Greg, you still there? We'll see if we can get Greg back. But yeah, obviously now that Scott Strickland has made the move, you can start. We get it. Like Lane Kiffin's not going to Florida. Or Florida's not showing up in Oxford and getting time with Lane Kiffin.
Well,
but you can certainly be talking to Jimmy Sexton.
That's the thing. And I forgot to bring up the best reader email I got this week was Lane Kiffin should quit Ole Miss and coach Florida against Georgia. And I said that's probably not going to happen, but that would be amazing.
That would be amazing. But that would be a paradigm shift of how this works. I think we've got Greg back on with us now. So Greg, is we start to kind of look at the list, who do you think is a good fit for Florida?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know, really, Hayes. You've got some individuals that obviously you love the school. I know Jed Fish is coached in Florida back in Spurrier days. But I haven't really followed Jed as much as his career. But, fit has got to be extremely important. But you've got to find somebody that knows how to win. And whether Florida decides to go the Dan Lanning route or whether they decide to hire, a proven head coach, it's really difficult to do because you just don't know who's going to turn out to be a great coach. Sometimes it's just a lot of luck involved. But, Arizona State's doing very well out there. Dillingham impresses me. Again,
I think we lost him again. So,
I endorse Dillingham. He'd be number 2 on the list. Braum is number 2 on your list.
Yes.
Behind, we're both in agreement.
I would be surprised if Jed Fish is in play here unless the Florida job is way less valuable than what I perceive it to be and what I think most of us perceive it to be. And it's nothing against Jed Fish. I mean, he's at Washington. That's where Alabama went to go get their coach. They went to Washington. I understand that. I just don't know that it's been that there's been enough done. I mean, DeBoer got Washington to the national title game. And so, in looking at it, I get it. Jed Fish. I mean, obviously we know Jed Fish takes the job. He's an alum of Florida. He did coach under Spurrier at a very entry-level position. So obviously, I mean, he bleeds orange and blue, and that is very important. And he is an offensive mind, and he has been a head coach. And he's been a head coach at Arizona and Washington, and he does have some NFL experience, obviously, as a coordinator. I still would be surprised, though, if that's the direction. Maybe, like, if Florida messes it up, and 4 years from now, they're back in this situation, maybe at that point it's Jed Fish. Mm-hmm. But it just doesn't feel like it's time for Jed Fish to be the hire. I don't think that would be roundly accepted.
Yeah, and it would be okay because the knee-jerk reaction to that would be, who else turned it down?
Right.
What doors were closed on Strickland and company before they went to Jed? And hey, I like Jed. We covered him here. I've kept in touch a little bit with him, and I think he'd be an upgrade. Let's put it that way.
Well,
but
yeah,
that's not saying
and that's the thing too. Like Florida fans, like keep in mind that no matter how this goes, I mean, the X's and O's are going to be better. Now, I don't know that the culture, the recruiting, that stuff will be better. I do think Napier was pretty strong in that regard. JJ, do we have Greg back on? Okay.
Nope. Well, I was going to ask you the question I was going to ask Greg.
Yeah.
I'm going to be going to my first Florida-Georgia game. What can I expect?
I mean, I think Georgia's going to kill them.
No, the atmosphere.
Oh, well, the atmosphere is great. It's 50, half the side, woof, 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 and
chop,
half the
chop,
side.
chop.
And that's what you get. So, I mean, it's a great environment, but I don't think the game is going to be particularly strong. But I love the fact you're picking Florida. You will be the only person on the planet picking Florida, unless some Georgia fans want to pull a Vince Dooley and be like, oh, they're really good and we're gonna have our hands full. But yeah, but in beyond the poor mouthing, why do you think Florida might have a chance in this thing?
Because I think it's going to be a liberated team, and specifically a liberated offense with a new play caller, a new interim coach who's a receivers coach, so he's going to put his stamp on it. And one thing that Billy Gonzalez said on Monday was, got to get the ball to playmakers. That means you got a couple great young receivers on the perimeter, and I'll go off Shane Matthews told us yesterday. Be aggressive. Take some chances. The punter should not see the field unless it's 4th and long in your own territory. You have nothing to lose. So I'll probably get me wrong, but I just hope for a close game.
It's a great pick. And look, if Florida pulls off the upset, I will shout to the heavens until the day I die that you picked the upset. But the other thing too is Florida defensively is so beaten up. And so even if you believe that Florida's offense might find something, again, they're tied for 103rd in scoring offense. So, they probably will find something, but will it be enough to take down one of the best teams in the country? I wonder. And I also wonder, Gunnar Stockton looked fantastic in his last outing against Ole Miss. I mean, I think he had 5 incompletions and accounted for several touchdowns. So, I mean, to me, Georgia comes in
5 touchdowns.
5 touchdowns. Thank you, JJ. So Georgia comes in, I think, offensively as hot as they've been. And Florida, I mean, I don't know who will be available and who won't be, but it was a bloodbath in their secondary against Mississippi State. I mean, they had guys out there that I didn't even know were on scholarship. Yeah. So, I mean, I just think it's going to be awfully. It would have been tough. Well, it would have been impossible with Napier. Maybe I get kind of what you're saying. Like if you're Georgia, you don't really know what to prepare for, and Florida has enough time where even if they can just install 15 new plays that they feel great about, if they haven't put them on film, maybe Georgia gets a little bit of an early scare. But boy, it'd be tough for me to see Florida outlasting Georgia in a 60-minute game.
Well, one of these years we'll explain to the listener the impetus of the chop, 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 woof, woof, woof story.
Yes.
And let's just put it this way. It involves my predecessor.
Yes, it does. So, a fantastic story. And, it's a shame we couldn't stay on the phone with Greg because I wanted to get to the FSU thing with him as well. But he'll be back on with us next week, and we certainly appreciate Greg McGarrity's time. When we come back on the Frangie Show, we will switch gears. We're going to bring in a scholar athlete. We've got another outstanding individual that we can't wait to introduce you to, so we will do that up next. You're listening to 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's the fall savings event going on now at Renewal by Andersen. Upgrading your home has never been easier. Get 20% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires October 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Your favorite band live, First Chord Hits. That's a thrill. But for the accident attorneys at Farah & Farah, what thrill beats them all?
It's the thrill of the win. I've been there when the worry is real, when the bills pile up, when the pain doesn't quit, and getting the call that says, "We came through for you." That's huge. It's about seeing that weight lift, helping folks walk out better than when they walked in. Yeah, we're built for that.
Call Farah & Farah, Jacksonville.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
E to the T here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find the scratch kitchen that comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Come on, somebody.
I love my propane company. They always answer when I call and give me great prices and fast service. Said no one ever.
Until now. Need propane for your home or business? Seabreeze Propane is bringing the propane as North Florida's new local propane provider. Visit SeabreezeLP.com. Seabreeze Propane. We make propane cool, brother. Oh, yeah.
Hey gang, Prosser here. When it comes time to sell your home, don't worry about any, quote, problems you think might be related, because I've got the perfect team that will keep you right on track. In fact, they've got a guarantee that you can't beat. And that is Chad and Sandy, the agents I would call to sell my home. You see why? Your home sold guaranteed, or they will buy it. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. But the promise is this. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jacksonville homes are selling, but many take months and a low price to sell. Getting top price means aggressive marketing. Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive demand to sell your home. Darcy in San Jose said, I felt too isolated in my retirement. I wanted to buy in a different area, better suited for me. I spoke to several agents who didn't seem to care. I needed to find someone I could rely on. In come Chad and Sandy, and in 3 days, the home was sold. Call the Jacksonville experts we trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy today.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
Welcome back to The Frangie Show. We certainly appreciate our friends at Stanley Pools. We're looking forward to bringing in our scholar athlete here in a minute. But before we do that, Ryan, I had a thought with your talk about Florida and maybe springing the upset. Can you imagine if the Spurrier legend got resurrected for one more cocktail party and Florida beats Georgia and Steve Spurrier Jr.? I don't care what the role is. I mean, he was a consultant. Now Billy Gonzalez is saying he's going to have he's not calling the plays. He's not coordinating the offense. I don't care. If Florida beats Georgia, Steve Spurrier Jr. has to be carried off the field.
Well, magic touch. Spurrier name, magic touch. Pull the upset.
Can you imagine the Spurrier name in that rivalry is as good as it gets. He was masterful against the Bulldogs, only lost one game. Just incredible run of dominance. And Georgia had owned the series prior to Spurrier's arrival, and that was his number one thing when he got there. He was like, we are going to beat Georgia. And he did it. He had an incredible record. I mean, we've seen a lot of amazing things in SEC football, but Steve Spurrier Jr. in his mid-50s, I mean, if he is able to be a part of a Florida. It'd be the biggest upset in series history, by the way. This is not a series that has a lot of major upsets. The favorite almost always wins. What do you guys think? You guys thought I was too high on the line, but what do you legitimately think the line is going to be on that game?
I mean,
it's got to be a double digits.
Well, I was
right?
going to say 15.
Okay, I said 18.5, and JJ,
I was going to say like 14.
Okay,
14 and a half.
2 touchdown. If Florida ends up winning as a 2 touchdown underdog in that game, it's got to be one of the biggest upsets that series has ever seen.
And you look at the series. There's been ebbs and flows over the last 25 years,
right?
But really, there hasn't been a lot of close games.
No,
I mean, the last close game was 2019, Georgia 24-17, and after that. The last close game was 13. So we've had 2 good games in the last dozen years.
Right.
And, that's the hope is you get a competitive game. But it's, if you're Florida, if you can like survive the first quarter, Kirby's going to be laying it on thick all week. Hey, there's good guys, good coaches.
Right.
And, we don't unexpected, but, maybe if you're Florida, you get some of the guys back who were either out for the Mississippi State game or got dinged during the game with the extra week. And so it's more of a hope. It's going to be a prediction, but it's really more of a like sort of a Hail Mary.
Sure.
It's like, hey, you got to get there 1,000 hours before the game.
Right.
We got to park a mile away. I have to, never mind. I have to be in a cramped press box, although covered, but say, hey, let's give me some entertainment because the 2 Florida games I've covered this year, they've lost to South Florida and should have lost to Mississippi State. Just play well.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, from a talent standpoint, Florida has talent. Again, we don't know what their injury report's going to look like. It's been a horror show, really, for the last 4 years, but it's a horror show again with all the guys that they have not had, and you don't know if any of those guys are going to come back. But look, a team that's got DJ Lagway, Jaden Baugh, Dallas Wilson, Vernell Brown III, they certainly can be dangerous.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm basing it on.
that's that will be interesting to see. But boy, Gunnar Stockton, that was interesting because he was sort of you kind of thought game manager. Like there was even talk of would one of these other more talented kids perhaps supersede him and take the job. But Gunnar Stockton, no one's really talking much about him like nationally, but he's been awesome for Georgia.
Yeah, and that offense took a while to get going this year. I mean, they were not great against Alabama in a loss. The Auburn game was played in quicksand.
Yeah.
But then they burst it out, which, okay, maybe they found some mojo there.
In the Tennessee game in Neyland, he had to lead them back. I mean, you blinked and Tennessee had scored 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he has shown a lot of resolve, but obviously a lot of skill. He's mobile. So I just don't think I don't think Florida can keep it close. But again, I will say the talent on both sides is probably as close as it has been since Florida beat Georgia when Mullen had Trask and Pitts and Tony and Grimes and just.
So that was 2020?
2020,
okay,
yeah.
44-28.
Because really, to be honest, then Florida's recruiting totally fell off. Yeah. So like Napier's first, second, and third year, Georgia had way more talent than Florida. This has probably been the first year where it's comparable. Georgia probably still has more guys that'll end up getting drafted and things like that, but it's not overwhelming. It's just that, and you have to give Kirby Smart credit too, because, he doesn't have the depth that he has had. I mean, yes, he is an elite recruiter, one of the best recruiters of his generation, but you have to give him credit now that he's X and O'ing it. Yeah. And creating a team that, has guts. That they've lost a game. I get it. They lost to Alabama, but they could easily have two or three losses, and they don't.
Yeah. One thing about Georgia is what they have a mix of is they recruit the high school player development, they dip into the portal, and also quarterback play from Bennett to Beck. Now to Stockton is you're getting consistent quarterback play over guys who paid their dues on campus, waited for their opportunity, and I think they have obviously a good staff and with Kirby leading the way, and so it's Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, in the immortal words of Hacker, it's going to be a tough putt for Florida. But I'm not a Gator, but I got faith.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I'm intrigued to see what the offense can be. You're not going to see, I wouldn't think, much of the 2 tight ends, and that fool nobody and don't make anybody miss, and again, it's not just them. It was just a poor scheme, as we all know. So it will be intriguing to see if they can find any form with Billy Gonzalez running it as the interim.
Last question for you. You mentioned this. Florida's been beset by injuries for a couple of years now. When you're the new coach, you got to look at everything.
Sure.
Okay, why has this happened? You play on grass. It's not a turf-related injury thing.
Right.
So Greg hit it on the head. There's going to be a massive amount of turnover in that football program, from everything from sports science analysts, coaches. And the other thing I wanted to ask Greg was, and you probably get to it in the next couple of weeks, is when NFL coaches come into interview, they have a depth chart of their staff. This is my first choice, second choice, third choice. I wonder how it works with college guys, because it's a different contractual schedule. There's no blocking of promotions like in NFL. So, when they get around to talking to Lane Kiffin, okay, is it automatically Pete Golding?
Yeah.
Okay, if he wants to stay, if Charlie Weiss Jr. gets the Ole Miss job, how many guys is he going to keep? So another
layer to it.
line.
Yeah. And we'll be obviously breaking it all down. We probably got 6 weeks before we have anything official. In terms of who the coach is going to be. I mean, Kiffin could be out before then. He could sign an extension any minute. But anyway, when we come back on the Frangie Show, we will get it to our Scholar Athlete of the Week. You are listening to 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
1010XL is your home for play-by-play of Bishop Kenny football.
After a 4-week win streak, the Crusaders get ready for the Wolverines, hungry for their first victory. Bishop Kenny Westside, Friday at 7 on 92.5 FM.
Hey friends, Frank Frangie here. You know me. I don't mess around when it comes to taking care of business. Well, if your plumbing or AC company is giving you excuses, it's time to make a trade. Call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter. They're the trusted partner for some of the biggest commercial names in Northeast Florida. Their office team keeps billing smooth, and their field techs show up ready to fix the problem fast and right. Bring in the starters with Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Tell them Frank sent you.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
It's hurricane season. Find out what you need to know about the Canes on the Performance Painting Hurricane Report.
I'm JJ LaSelva, and I'll keep you close to Coral Gables.
Proudly protected by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve on 1010XL.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dan Hicken with a game changer. I've tested the field, and Checkmate Coatings is my new go-to for durable, jaw-dropping floor coatings. Better play, better results.
I'm Brendan from Checkmate Coatings. Our precision coatings make your floors the MVP of any space.
Slam dunk your floors at checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Hayes Carline here to let you know about my new tailgate obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. If you love eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching football, you will love the new Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip. These are game changers, as delicious as a homemade dip made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. You've got to try them. Once you do, you'll be hooked. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip at your grocery store.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and when the weather starts to shift a little bit, especially during the fall, you've got some really cool stuff from Honda Off-Road.
We do. It's the favorite time of the year for me. Nice little chill in the air. We've got some side-by-sides. We've got the ATVs. Of course, they're legendary dirt bikes. We've got it all.
And for the hunter?
Oh, we've got side-by-sides that work and play.
All right, so make sure you check it out. Showroom wide open for you on Atlantic near Regency. If you want to go off-road and have some fun, check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant
Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Hey, Prosser here, and right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. One call, life change. There's no wait, no hard credit pull. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 914-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Call 914-999-1508. See how much cash you can get today. You can also visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Hey, let's go! And now, this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Hayes Carline here with Ryan O'Halloran and JJ LaSelva, and we are pleased to bring in Stanton's Michael Petrie. Michael, thank you so much and congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Just what an unbelievable resume you have. Let's start with football. You play receiver. Tell us about that. How long have you played football, and why is that sport so meaningful to you?
Well, I started as a little kid just playing when my little brother played. And I only played like throughout the years. But then I started seriously playing when I came to high school. And I just started like taking it serious and putting in work.
Receiver, safety, kicker. Let's talk about the 22-yard field goal. Are you available for the Jaguars next week? What kind of thrill, because you don't kick a lot, what kind of thrill was making that field goal?
It was pretty normal. I knew I was going to make it, but they actually got a person right through. And he just happened to miss the ball completely.
Gotcha.
So,
how about that? What's been your favorite win that you've participated in with your team?
My favorite win was our second game against Bishop Snyder. We won 48-20. And it was just good seeing that everyone got to participate. And our running backs scored both like 2 touchdowns each. One had 4 and one had 3.
Wow.
So,
midfielder in soccer, is there any correlation that you can use skill-wise playing football and then translate into soccer?
Yeah, I think they translate a lot because in soccer, playing midfield, you have to see the whole field and you have to use change of direction. And it's translated very well for like safety, seeing when the offense moves, recognizing their plays, and just being able to cut on offense at wide receiver. Uh-huh. And then obviously playing kicker, just being able to kick far.
3.82 GPA at Stanton. That's an incredible achievement. What's your advice to young people listening on time management and being able to balance both?
The biggest thing about it is just finding what works for you. Like we have a class specifically for time management skills and stuff that helps you in college. So just like learning about the types of strategies and finding what works for you. That's what I found helped me.
How excited are you for college?
I'm really excited to go.
You want to major in information technology. You're hired by me right now, and several of us. But what drew your interest in that?
Well, my mom has like a lot of friends that do things like that, so I got kind of interested in technology and computers when they would show me, and then I also learned a few things over my own time, so I just thought it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, do you have a school that you have picked out that you'd like to attend?
For right now, the most interesting option to me is UCF.
All right, great. Why UCF?
I've actually been there once because my friend and me did a football camp, and we just wanted to look at the campus. I thought it was like beautiful, and it was very big. So there was a lot to do there, and I just like their programs too.
And homecoming Friday night against Space Coast. How fired up are you for that?
I'm really excited because even though this doesn't determine our playoffs, but we're already in, but it's a big game and it's a good competition, so we'll be able to actually show something.
Sounds great. Well, Michael, thank you so much for being with us. Congratulations on all your success, and best of luck to you in college.
Thank you.
All right, pleasure being with you. That's Michael Petrie of Stanton, 3.82 GPA, magnificent resume, and obviously an outstanding receiver and midfielder for Stanton. We certainly appreciate Michael and appreciate Tammy Talley for coordinating our Scholar Athlete program. I wanted to get another quick thought as we start to peek ahead to Florida, Georgia. If you're Billy Gonzalez, I understand you want to throw the ball, you want to get your receivers involved, but Jaden Baugh is such a talent. I mean, is this now with Napier out of the picture? Is this a game where Jaden Baugh could get 30 carries?
He should be a bell cow game because this is your rivalry game. This is your season. Sure, you got other games left, but this is the one you want to get. This is so use your best guys. I don't want a rotation. He is a stud. And, the South Florida game to me was unacceptable in terms of they came out in 12 personnel, basically saying, we're going to punch the Bulls in the mouth. Jaden Baugh, run. Then you don't see him for a quarter and a half. This isn't orange slices and juice boxes football. You got to play your best guys. So that would be one change I would make is if Jaden Baugh is in a rhythm, keep him out there.
He's a guy that I think is
great player,
exceptional. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think he's somebody that when he decides to enter the draft, obviously he's got another year of college before he's eligible. But I mean, I think he's somebody that is well on his way to being in the first 3 rounds of the draft, if not higher.
Yeah, and one cool thing about Baugh, I saw this on Twitter yesterday, is a young Gator fan used like a computer program to print out Baugh, and now Baugh is sending him a jersey.
Oh, that's really cool.
So that's like, okay, after all this week, that's like, he's got a great heart. So yeah, I would be all about Wilson, Brown, Lagway, Baugh.
That's the game plan.
That's okay.
If you honestly,
9 targets, 30 carries.
Right. If you plan on having 65 plays in this game, then I mean, Sturdivant's been okay. He's like a steady, move the chains kind of guy. Trey Wilson's just fallen off the map. So maybe with now Napier being out, does Trey Wilson get more involved? That would be an interesting wrinkle that Gonzalez may try and throw at Georgia, is because, I mean, Trey Wilson can play, but I mean, obviously these 2 true freshmen have come in and really just been phenomenal. But he's got talent. We'll see about, some of these other Florida receivers that have been banged up. So yeah, I mean, it's the talent is there to scare Georgia, but I see Kirby Smart, and obviously we know what this game means to him, and he's been brilliant in it. And so I would be surprised if Florida is able to do anything, but we'll look forward to continuing to break it down. Hard to believe the cocktail party is now just 9 days away.
And real quick, I mean, Hayden Hansen is a good player at tight end for 22 catches. If you got the young studs on the outside, the middle of the field should be open.
You'd think.
So 3rd and short, run it. But if it's like 3rd and 4, hey, throw a little out route to the tight end, because just play keep away a little bit and then strike for the big play.
Yeah, it's a good thought. When we come back on the Frangie Show, we're going to switch gears, talk a little bit about the NFL. Who are some contenders? Who are some pretenders when we look at that AFC race? You're listening to the Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. I've been battling all year to get my lawn lush green. You know the struggle. Well, I finally made the call and got it top dressed. Topdressing.com came out with their special equipment. Holy cow, what a setup they've got. And they're absolutely meticulous. Top dressing lawns is all they do, and it takes 1 day. Heck, if you're a landscaper, call them for your clients that need professional top dressing. Call 888-850-1850. I did it, and you can too. Get your lawn top dressed like a pro with topdressing.com.
He's skilled in the art of diplomacy.
I'm Defense Minister Dmitry Mishkin.
Get insights and interviews from Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline when he takes you behind enemy lines.
The CIA has no knowledge.
Delivered by Pella Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Today is the release of 2025-26 Topps Basketball. It's the first time Topps has the basketball license since 2009. Cards have the same design as 25 Topps Baseball. It's Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now is a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
Get the real story from people who know the beautiful game best. The Coaches Show, presented by Sporting Jacks with Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Ballum. Tuesday nights at 6
on 1010 AM.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the First Coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This football season, Hurricane Grill and Wings is your game day getaway. Catch every play with the perfect drink in hand. Handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita, Spicy Guavarita, Old Fashioned, or the Red Bullerita. Beer more your style to watch the games? Enjoy an ice cold Bud Light. Game day cocktails and Bud Light specials are here all season long at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find a restaurant near you at hurricanewings.com.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors with great ratings and expert reviews. You know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or just stop by the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Their professional design consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HEAT to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HEAT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HEAT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Local sports update brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. Looking ahead to this weekend, 1010XL will be bringing you live on-air coverage of some high school football matchups. Starting on the FM, Bishop Kenny will take on Westside on the AM. Bowles takes on Wolfson, both games kicking off at 7. There's 2 weeks of regular season play before playoffs begin November 14th. It's 73 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Hayes Carline here with Ryan O'Halloran, sports columnist at the Florida Times-Union. JJ LaSelva as well. Frank is on vacation. He will be back on Monday. Ryan, we talked about this yesterday. You had a chance Tuesday to sit down one-on-one with Liam Cohen in his office, and it's amazing what you and Liam were able to get into and what Liam was able to share. Again, part one of that we talked about on yesterday's show, and it has been published. You need to go check it out on Jacksonville.com. You can find it at Ryan O'Halloran on his social. But fantastic stuff. Obviously, that was going through kind of his presentation to the team and things like that. So part two, which you've been kind enough to let me get a preview of, is every bit as outstanding as part one, and obviously focuses a lot on Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback. What was, again, for people that weren't listening yesterday, just take us through Liam's vibe in doing it, what it was like having that time with him, and then share with us, as your story points out, his kind of frustration's too strong, but where he is at with the franchise quarterback.
Yeah, start at the beginning. It was a cool experience, and what I said yesterday is, for every Jaguar fan that's a Liam Cohen fan, wish they were in the room, because the recorder was running, I think, for 27 minutes. He was standing up for about half of it with the clicker, and he had these two big screens, and we're going through a couple plays, and I'm like, I'm writing down, okay, that play I remember, because I'm recording it, but not video recording it. So we hit a bunch of different topics, and the best way is to stay out of the way, and it's give him a question and just say, hey, let's see where this goes, and it'll lead to a follow-up. So the first part was that, the team meeting where he showed 70 plays. And then the second part of the story, I boiled it down to Trevor Lawrence, Travis Hunter, and also how Liam moves on after a loss, sort of how he leads a team in times of adversity. So start with Lawrence, and it was the first play of the game he showed me, and against the Rams. And one of the things he said was, okay, I said, you've had 7 games with Trevor Lawrence. Is this the time of year where you say, okay, this stuff he doesn't like, I don't like for him, we take it out, and also vice versa, do you start adding some stuff? And to me, it's the two things he really stressed is, he goes, when number one in the progression is open, we have to be automatic in A, throwing it, and B, catching it. He says, let it rip, Trevor, which is something we've been talking about all season.
Absolutely.
Trust the read, trust the eyes. And he showed the first play. We probably watched it half dozen times. Hunter and Thomas bunch right. Travis Hunter has a choice route, which is in breaking, out breaking, or stop. He reads the coverage the right way. People say, well, did Trevor show hesitation? That's a plan. He had to show the hitch for Travis Hunter to make his decision. In breaking route, got to get it going. Could have thrown it before the pressure. So now you're sacked. Now you're behind the chains. And then you punt, and the snowball got going. So I think that the biggest thing, if you're a Lawrence supporter, what Cohen pointed out is the stuff he's doing pre-snap help them get to 4-3. And I thought that was a great quote by him, is, he is making a lot of the right decisions in terms of getting out of a play. And when he cans the play, which is both heads on the helmet, you see the receivers and tight end to say they heard it. Out of one play, into the next one, he called in the huddle, making the good decisions there. I think the decisiveness part, if you're a Jaguar supporter and a coach, you got to figure that will improve with his comfort level. But also the the protection's got to be better. And he's been under siege a little bit, but also some of those sacks are on him. So I think he has been encouraged. The final point on Lawrence is Cohen does feel like the ball's coming out of his hands better than it did at the beginning of the season. To me, that's about a comfort level, is you're not holding it. So that would be the reasons for optimism if you're a Jaguars person moving forward with this offense.
I do like the fact that he has been so good with knowing the scheme and the adjustments, because that's always been a criticism I've had of Trevor Lawrence's game, is he has never come across as a particularly cerebral player. And I don't think his instincts are still particularly strong, but this isn't instincts. This is being able to take what you've learned in the classroom and apply it in the milliseconds that you have in a game. And I mean, I'll go back to something they told us in camp that I was very skeptical about. They told us early in camp that Trevor Lawrence aced this quiz. I'm not even sure you had gotten here yet. But you know the story I'm talking about. It was maybe 2 weeks into training camp. JJ, you remember this? And
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and so Trevor kind of mentioned it in his media that, Liam gave us this pop quiz, all the quarterbacks, and I did the best on it. And to me, I was like, well, I'm sure that was somewhat scripted for him to be the best one at it. You've got Nick Mullins in here, who's very cerebral. You've got John Wolford in here, who's very cerebral and have been in this system before. So it was kind of hard for me to believe that Trevor Lawrence did the best of them in a pop quiz test. And look, I mean, whether it was legit, I mean, it's great coaching regardless, because the point is you want Trevor Lawrence to walk out of that with his confidence increased. And it was the evidence of that. He volunteered it to the media when talking about the scheme and comfort with Liam Cohen. So it did its job, regardless of if it was on the level or not. It was a good coaching maneuver. But now that we're 7 games into the season, I will agree. I mean, it doesn't seem like the operation and what Trevor is trying to do at the line, it does seem like he's very in tune with what Liam wants. So I guess that does give you some optimism that the inaccuracy, the indecisiveness, that's part of the process, that he's done a good job with this first part, and maybe you do have to be a little bit more patient than you would like to be on the execution part, the decisive part, but maybe we will see that in the second half.
And I didn't sense frustration from Liam Cohen about Trevor Lawrence. I sensed this was part of the process. The second thing that he pointed out, and to me, I want to see this. He goes, continuing to use his legs, and that's something we have to continue to lean into. Get him on the move.
Bingo.
And to me, it's if the pocket is not confident right now, and they've given the last 2 games it hasn't been, get him on the move, throwing, cut his field in half. We're not talking about being a keeper quarterback,
right?
But just get him on the run.
Escape and get 4 yards.
Yeah, and make chicken salad out of chicken bleep, and so you're not instead of 2nd and 14, you're in 2nd and 6.
Right.
That changes the play sheet. As Liam said to me, he goes, "There's not a lot of things on here for 1st and 20."
Yeah.
Because you almost have to throw at that point, because you can't count on running for 10.
Right.
To get a 2nd and 10. So when you're behind it, that really impacts the offense. And as he said, he goes, there have been moments offensively where our good has been really good and our bad is like, whoa, we're off. 100% accurate.
Yeah.
So
without a doubt, do you think that we could see as early as the Raiders game a week from Sunday, where it literally is the Liam telling Trevor, look, progression 1 and a progression 1 isn't there, take off?
I would say on 3rd down and medium, that I still think you want to be able to go 1 to 2, maybe even to 3. And so I think the thing that they did a little bit, they had Cole Van Lanen as a 6th offensive lineman as a pass protector. I think you got to start with a 7-man pass pro. More often, the chips aren't making a difference. The twists in the games are impacting this Jags O-line. Do we see a different Jags O-line against Las Vegas? That's another issue. So, when the term self-scout is overused, but they dig in to everything. And, we'll see what kind of changes they make. Some we may notice, others we may not. So I'm interested to see, because everything is new for this staff and this head coach and these 2 new coordinators. How do you take advantage of this time to really recalibrate what you're doing?
I think the first thing, because of what Liam told you, I think the first thing that you look for in the Raiders game is when you do see the guy come open immediately, you got to see Trevor seeing it, trusting it, and making a good throw.
Yeah, and it's not the old thing where, throw it before he's coming out of his break. It's not even that. It's when he's open.
You showed me the play. I mean, Travis Hunter, I'm not sure he might have scored. Yeah. He had a lot of space. It's at minimum 15 to 20 yard gain.
I was going to say 20. So now you're at midfield.
Right.
Okay, now you got a 1st and 10 at midfield. Now you're on schedule.
And there's just the immediate lift of, wow, first play, we hit a explosive play in the pass game. Here we go.
Yeah.
Instead of taking a sack, and then
here
it's
we
like,
go
oh,
again.
here we go again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one play, and they're professionals. It shouldn't dictate it, but you got to sense that it did.
Yeah, and with the openers, I mean, we're going to know, I think, pretty early in that Las Vegas game whether this team has responded to not responded to the coaching, but bounce back. And they're going to come back Monday and practice. Be interested to see how he handles going in pads. If he does, I'd go Wednesday or Thursday, and use that time to your advantage to get ready, because this is it's not the season, but it's pretty close.
It's pretty close. I would agree. I think there's a big difference between 4-4 with a 3-game losing streak, with a loss to one of the worst teams in the NFL, versus 5-3, and you've recaptured some momentum. And with the schedule that you still have, the path to 9-10 wins is very much in play.
Yeah, and we looked at the schedule a lot this week, and all the losing record teams on there. Chances are they're not going to win all of them. So, okay, are they going to be good enough to steal a game?
Right.
Like they did at San Francisco.
And I think that if you've beaten the 49ers and the Chiefs, you can beat the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
You can beat the Chargers here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you can beat Denver. I mean,
Denver can't score until they're down by 19.
Right. I mean, they're a peculiar team to figure out right now as well, despite a very good 5-2 record. So no, I'm with you. They've played their 3 hardest games. They've played the 49ers, the Rams, the Chiefs, and you might even throw the Seahawks in there.
Another
so
5-2 team.
Yeah. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see for sure. Obviously, you can read that story that Ryan wrote, read all of his columns at Jacksonville.com. When we come back, though, we're going to stay on this because Liam Cohen was also, I thought, really, really introspective and insightful in regards to Travis Hunter, his usage, the plan, how it's going, and Travis Hunter's big day against the Rams. So we will get to that up next. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Hey, folks, you're looking for a dealership that actually makes car buying easy? Well, let me tell you why Nimnick Buick GMC is the place to shop. At Nimnick, you're going to find unbeatable prices, a huge selection of Buicks and GMCs, plus flexible financing that works around your budget. So whether it's a new SUV, a work-ready truck, or a certified pre-owned, they really do have you covered. They back it up with trusted service and transparent deals. So don't wait. Browse all their inventory online at nimnickbuickgmc.com. Or you can visit their showroom right off of Phillips Highway. It is a beautiful showroom, really nice people that will treat you right. But the bottom line is this: if you get prices, if you get selection, and you get really good people handling the service, why would you go anywhere else? And I can tell you, I'm not going anywhere else. So who gives you the best deals and stands behind it to make sure it's a better experience? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnick. We are professional grade GMC.
Your play-by-play home of Bulls Bulldogs football is 1010XL.
The 7-1 Bulldogs are fired up for senior night against the Wolfpack. Bulls Wolfson, Friday at 7 on 1010 AM.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $3,600 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden Eye & Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like EVO implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
Best Bet is #1. That's right, Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine have one-card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war, just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. Learn all the games at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Jeff Lagerman for Napa Auto Care Centers. This football season, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or travel to the away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any one of the 29 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions. Napa Auto Care Centers offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find one near you at jacksnapaautocare.group.com.
He thinks he knows what he's talking about.
Of course.
Find out if he does.
Is there anything else we need to know?
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast, before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents and will keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online just like I did. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically, if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari, at Bari Orthopedics.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
We certainly appreciate our friends at Stanley Pools. Welcome back to The Frangie Show. I'm Hayes Carline, along with Ryan O'Halloran and JJ LaSelva. All right, Ryan, let's continue this. Fantastic stuff, by the way. I mean,
Thanks.
This is both of these columns have been outstanding, this access that you got with Liam Cohen. So we talked in the last segment about Liam's comments on Trevor. It's so cool that he's showing you like video highlights and breaking things down, these guys. But let's get it now to Travis Hunter. I have not been disappointed in Travis Hunter. I thought it was going to take time for this. I didn't think he was just going to show up and be the best corner and the best receiver in the NFL. I think just the fact that we're 7 weeks in and they haven't completely abandoned it, I think tells you it's going to work. You're probably going to see the extreme dividends of it in year 2, 3, and 4 once he's had a year to process in an offseason. But I want to get your thoughts. Again, you can read Ryan's columns at jacksonville.com, and I would encourage you to do so. Liam Cohen talking about Travis Hunter and his growth so far. What stood out to you in that conversation?
Well, the way I phrased the question was, how would you describe the experience of coaching him and managing his work? And he says, it's been pretty cool. But he goes, it's a different challenge, just like you're in high school coaching a two-way player. And he explained it a little bit. He goes, during practice, that's no problem. It's offense versus scout team or defense versus scout team. There's ways to work him in. He goes, where they've had to figure some things out is the meeting time and the walkthrough time, making sure that he is getting enough time to walk through the game plan on both sides of the ball, but also, and I thought this was a good point, the game plan's installed Wednesday and Thursday. That doesn't mean it doesn't change. I mean, they are constantly tweaking things Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Is he getting enough time for those changes, those details to feel comfortable, and also to have the trust of his teammates that he's going to know where he is, especially on defense. So my expectations for this experiment as a rookie were low because and I've had several people in the league tell me this. It is tough enough to learn one position in this league as a rookie. Learning two is a real tough ask. And I don't care how athletic you are and how smart you are. It's just a different league. This is not the Big 12. This is not Jackson State. And so he's at 67% of the offensive snaps and 36% of the defense. I would imagine coming in this season, they probably thought that was going to be flipped. But I stole this line from you and put it in the column tomorrow. You said it. the demise of Brian Thomas
couldn't have seen it coming.
Couldn't have seen it coming, and it's probably forced their hand.
You don't have a number one receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, you thought you did, but you don't through 7 games at least. Now, maybe he has a great second half, and I hope he does. But, I mean, I'm at the point where you got to play Travis Hunter more on offense. He's your best offensive player until Brian Thomas Jr. snaps out of whatever this is.
Yeah, and one thing Cohen said, he was encouraged by the connection that Lawrence and Hunter looked like they got to against the Rams. I don't care what point of the game it was. And that's reps. And Trevor talked between the lines a little bit early in the season on the podium, says, well, I would like him to practice on offense all the time, which was translation, I'm not getting enough time with him.
Right.
And don't forget about this. He missed a big chunk of camp in August.
That's right.
That's hundreds of plays that he missed in practice. He wouldn't have played in those games probably, but I mean, this is going to be a proof of concept for the year. Also, if one change I would maybe consider is playing Travis Hunter and Greg Newsome in base, and Jordan Lewis is your only year nickel. Because maybe teams are figuring out that as a 10-year vet, he's not really running as fast as he could down the outside part of the field. So that would increase Hunter's workload. But also, Monteric Brown is gaining confidence of the staff. He's highly thought of after his injury. So maybe playing Hunter on those rare base downs, which are really rare, 10% maybe.
Yeah.
So that would maybe a way to get him going, get him more time on defense. But I think right now you need him on offense more than you need him on defense.
And I don't think it's close.
No.
I mean, you could already make that argument anyway with how the league is constructed. The league is an offensive league. And if you're having trouble scoring, if you're having trouble moving the chains on third down, if you're getting penalties and putting yourself in bad down and distance situations on a consistent basis, you need a playmaker like Travis Hunter that can bail you out of that stuff. And I think offensively, he has made some dazzling plays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think of the third down conversion in San Francisco where he skies up in the air. Obviously, he had the long one a couple weeks ago. And then against the Rams, he had his first 100-yard game. I want him to play both sides. And I think as he is here over the years, you will see that. You will see an ebb and a flow to that. But I'm with you. At this point, for me, it would be 80% offense, 20% defense.
Yeah, he's on pace for 1,180 snaps. That is quarterback level workload. So that is rare territory. I go back to what Dan Orlovsky from ESPN told me before the season. He said, he goes, on offense, he goes, he's got to be a part of practice in the meetings because defense, he goes, I'm a quarterback. I'm not going to dumb it down on defense, but it's going to be go out, cover him. And if need be. So I think that's where they're at. But you could, like you just said, you could not see Brian Thomas's struggles coming. They probably thought that Hunter would be nearly full-time on defense and sort of a gadget, bonus guy on offense. And then next year you could really sink into it. But circumstances have forced their hand.
Without a doubt. I mean, I would have thought 7 games in, Brian Thomas Jr. was probably around 800 receiving yards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought he was going to be phenomenal this year. I mean, I thought what he did last year was just a warm-up, and with a better offensive coaching staff, with having Trevor Lawrence instead of Mac Jones, which was a mistake. I mean, Mac Jones has played well in San Francisco, and Trevor has struggled at times. I mean, the gap that I thought existed maybe is not as big as I thought, but forgetting all of that, what I just never saw coming is Brian Thomas Jr. just basically showing a lack of interest in playing tackle football.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still stunned by it. I mean, I have yet to see a receiver in this league, of all the games that I watch, I've yet to see a receiver have a game even closely resembling the egg he laid in Cincinnati and the performance Sunday against the Rams.
I mean, I'm sure have talked to him and are trying to get him going in a lot of ways. But first play of the season, he gets open on a go ball, it's overthrown. And so this is I wrote last week, it's gonna take a village to get Brian Thomas going, but it starts with him. And hey, you are still a couple years away from cashing in. Right now, you have a lot of money, but the generational wealth is coming when you put 3 good years together.
Right.
And
there's no chance I'd pay him $35 million a year right now.
I wouldn't even pick up.
There's no chance. I'd let him play out his rookie deal and wave him well when he signs with his new team. Now, there's a lot of time. He's halfway through his second year. But, I mean,
I wouldn't pick up the option.
I am stunned at how bad it's been.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick up the option. I mean, you're halfway. You're just about halfway through that 3-year decision because you do it after the 3rd season.
Right.
So it's it's got to be really frustrating to them because they probably felt like, hey, with a new offense, the quarterback's going to take some time, but hey, at least he'll have number 7.
Exactly.
And he doesn't have number 7.
Another aspect of your Liam Cohen column, the second part of it that I really enjoyed was Liam Cohen talking about the importance of handling adversity. And he told you a great story going back to his early days as a coach. What did Liam Cohen share with you in terms of what he learned about, how to handle a loss as a head coach?
And I told him, I said, one thing that has struck me is the day after the 3 losses, you looked like you had turned the page. You were measured, confident, and sounded like, hey, we're moving on to the next one. I said, where did you acquire that? And I thought he would say his dad, but he said it was actually the coach at Brown University, Phil Estes, was his first boss. He did 3 years with him as a quarterback coach. And he goes, it's funny you mentioned that because Phil was in London going to a practice in the game. He goes, it was almost like Coach Estes was better after a loss with the players, the staff, and the building. He goes, he didn't allow them to see the loss take a few days to get over. He goes, it's sticking in your craw, but he goes, you can't not lose the game again on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
I love that.
You have to move on. So
I think that's a phenomenal quote.
Yeah.
And it speaks, it's such an important philosophy for a coach to have. And it's hard to have because you're upset.
Yeah. And like the Cincinnati game, he probably was still livid after that game. The Seattle game, let's face it, I mean, they weren't the better team.
Right.
And same with the Rams game. He had a 9-hour flight to stew about it. But, the competitor in these guys, you want to just figure out what's wrong right away. But take a deep breath. That's why you have a game a week and now going into the bye. So, it would be incredible to be in a staff meeting to see how he talks to his staff and says, hey, we have to correct this, and this, but also let's focus on the positives of this and that.
How do you assess him through 7 games as a head coach?
I mean, when you go into San Francisco and win, I don't care how banged up they were. That is a very good defensive coordinator, and that is one of the best OC play callers in Kyle Shanahan in pro football. When the Chiefs come in here at pretty much full health except for Rashee Rice, who was suspended, and I don't think – they had Worthy, right?
Yes.
They did. So to win that game was impressive. So I had a couple nitpicks with him about the Ram game, kicking it on 4th and 2, which the guy missed, and he didn't let him on the field again. And so what's going to be interesting to me is, okay, the teams have tape now. How does he get his screen game going? Is Thomas salvageable? And also, can they get back to being a physical team in the run game? Well, the key to that is you don't fall behind by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So now it's about how is he going to adjust his play calling now that teams have a book on him starting last year and into this year.
Great stuff. When will the part 2 of this be published?
It will be tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Like 5 a.m. was the one today. So for your early risers, so I'll tweet it out tomorrow morning, and it'll be in Friday's print edition, e-edition online.
And people can follow you at Ryan O'Halloran.
At Ryan O'Halloran, and then the website Jacksonville.com. And he. It was a cool visit, and there's some stuff that I'm keeping for next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Look forward to that. And in the Jaguar digital team that does such an outstanding job, they put out a 11-minute video this morning that you need to check out if you haven't seen. It's basically Liam Cohen talking to the team right after they walked off the field at Wembley, talking to them in the post-game locker room, and then that team meeting that Liam shared a lot of that with Ryan. It takes you inside of that. And one cool thing I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see it, Ryan, but one cool thing that spoke to me is Liam's kind of starts it off with, kind of as he explained to you, the stuff they did wrong. Mm-hmm. And so he's bashing himself on that 4th and 7 play call. And rookie running back LaQuint Allen says, I can't remember. I think he said, I've got to have the corner or not, something like that. LaQuint Allen spoke up.
Yeah, he blew the protection.
Yeah, and Liam said, LaQuint, I appreciate you saying that, but it's on me. Yeah. It's on me. And I just think for what we have dealt with here from a head coaching perspective, I think Liam Cohen, I think Shad Khan and Tony Baselli hit it out of the park when they brought Liam Cohen here.
Yeah, you mentioned LaQuinn Allen. One of the plays he showed was the other rookie running back with Tootin. And when he got that illegal double team block on a kickoff return, he goes, these two kids are doing a great job for us. But you can't, we have to coach that better. He said, you cannot do that. Maybe they didn't. Also, this may be one of the reasons why they went to De'Ami Brown as kick returner. Hey, just settle it down a little bit. These kids maybe are choosing the wrong lane and something like that.
And the Rams, we talked about it last week, that knuckler that Cardi throws you sometimes. It didn't, to their credit, they didn't allow it to be an issue. And maybe Cardi didn't hit it as well as he had in previous, but probably they wanted De'Ami Brown in case the ball got loose.
Yeah.
But yeah, great stuff. Again, you can check out Ryan's work at Jacksonville.com. When we come back, we're going to stay on the NFL, but I want to get Ryan's thoughts on the AFC contenders. It appears like there's 8 teams for 7 spots, and your Jacksonville Jaguars are one of them. But we're going to dive into the Colts, the Patriots, the Chargers, Broncos, Steelers, and Chiefs. And there's a potential wild card in here as well. We'll talk about that coming up on The Frangie Show. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
After our son's shoulder issues were worsening, we took him to see Dr. Snyder at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, who recommended PRP treatment. We trusted Dr. Snyder's evaluation and look forward to seeing him pitch again. For the right care, the best care, we highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. When it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, superiorfenceandrail.com.
Soft takes are boring. That's why I dropped the hammer on the Frangie Show. I'm Hayes Carlyon. Listen for Hammer Time with Hayes, weekday afternoons on 1010XL.
Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic.
Did you know that basketball and volleyball were invented at the YMCA? That's right, and even today, the Y continues to lead the way in youth sports programming, from toddlers just starting out to teens ready to compete. The Y offers skill development, recreational play, and competitive leagues, all in a fun, supportive environment. Get your child in the game to build character and skills at the Y. Registration is now open for youth volleyball and soccer at fcymca.org.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. I think I'm some kind of football prophet.
Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about HardballCreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Hey gang, Prosser here. Jacksonville homes are selling, but it can take months.
and it takes a price lower than you want. Well, getting top price means aggressive marketing, and Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive the demand to sell your home. And they have this unbelievable promise and guarantee. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. If you need to sell now, Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. You want max price? Chad and Sandy are going to aggressively market your home, and they're going to get it. Anthony and Mary in Palm Coast said, we wanted to move back home closer to family. Getting max price was more important than a fast sell, but we had only purchased our home last year, so we didn't have much equity. After just 23 days of aggressive marketing with Chad and Sandy, they sold our house at the price we needed to make the move. Call the Jacksonville experts you can trust, and I recommend. Call Chad and Sandy at 904-414-6200 or chadandsandy.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
We certainly have had a fun Frangie show today. Let's recap it a bit. We started talking about this huge bust by the Feds on Portland coach Chauncey Billups and Heat guard Terry Rozier. Just a dreadful day for the NBA and the ramifications of this in terms of sports gambling across all the professional sports and collegiate sports. You got to think there'll be more to this coming, but just an incredible story today involving the FBI and the NBA. We talked about college football with Greg McGarity joined us, the Gator Bowl executive director. Whirlwind right now for Florida and Florida State. We had a scholar athlete join us, Michael Petrie. We certainly enjoyed meeting him, a fantastic athlete at Stanton. And we talked about Ryan's great story and Jacksonville.com, a two-parter with his Tuesday exclusive interview with Liam Cohen that was certainly very enjoyable. Let's switch gears to now looking at the NFL as a whole in the AFC, and let's look at these contenders, Ryan. We'll start with Indianapolis. We've touched on the Colts a little bit already this week, but are you buying the stock? Are you selling the stock? Where do you think the Colts are headed from this point?
I mean, the cop-out answer is I'm holding the stock right now. I thought they would trip up a couple times, chiefly against the Chargers. Their schedule does pick up here in the next month or two, but they've built themselves a pretty good cushion. With a 2-game lead as you near the halfway point. The Jaguars would have to beat them twice minimum, and then get some help to win that division. So, I am buying the Colts as a division, but I'm holding stock on AFC.
Yeah, I think it's hard to take shots at the Colts. I mean, they're 6-1, and they've got an outstanding chance to get to 7-1 with a home game against Tennessee Sunday. So, they're going to be 7-1, barring something crazy. Even at NFL standards, it'd be kind of crazy, I think, if the Titans pulled that upset off. But after that, it gets challenging. At Pittsburgh, home against Atlanta, then they have their bye. At Kansas City, home against Houston. At the Jaguars, at Seattle, home against San Francisco, home against the Jaguars, and at Houston. So their final 9 are very losable. So I'm with you. Like, I don't see them I don't think the road to the Super Bowl is going to go through Indianapolis, but they are 7-1, and it's hard to imagine that's it. The floor is probably 10-7 at this point. And they've certainly got a very strong position to make the tournament and probably win the division, although I like the Jaguars' remaining road much better. Let's get it to New England, 5-2. Mike Vrabel has to be high on the list for Coach of the Year candidates. Drake May certainly in the MVP discussion in just his second year. I mean, we haven't even seen what Travion Henderson can do, and I think at some point he's going to be a phenomenal player for them. So what do you like about New England? What's maybe something to be wary of? What
I like is Drake May, who I think is an MVP candidate as a second-year player. What I also like is they just won 3 straight on the road. This is the NFL. That's tough. And you start off with a primetime game at the Bills. That gets your attention. The Bills hadn't lost maybe 2 years at home. So their schedule, they have Cleveland at home and Atlanta at home the next 2 weeks. Yeah, they should win those 2 games. And then it's at Tampa Bay, but then they get the Jets. So their schedule.
They could be 8-3 very easily.
Yeah, and what's going to help them is they got the Jets twice. They still got the Dolphins. and the Giants. Who knows what the Giants will be? So I think they are the division favorite. But I'm also one of those, if I had a lean, it would be like they get upset in the wild card round. Like they just aren't ready yet.
Right.
But Vrabel done a heck of a job, and also just shows you just how bad the staff was last year.
Denver currently the leader in the AFC West at 5-2. They're the 3 seed right now in the AFC.
I'm not buying.
Yeah, they've been kind of. They should have beaten Indianapolis. A leverage penalty on the final play gives the Colts another chance. They make the game-winning field goal. So Denver can argue, hey, we could be 6-1, and they've had some close wins as well. But I'm sort of there with you on. Their defense is incredible. So maybe that is something that can lead them to the division. But I'm sorry. I know Kansas City right now is the 8th seed at 4-3 and would be out. I'm not sure the Chiefs are going to lose another game. I mean, that probably will, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're 4-3 now. I wouldn't be surprised if they got to the house at 13-4, maybe lost one more game, and they've got a very challenging schedule. They play a first place schedule, but Mahomes is just on such a brilliant level right now. I think Kansas City's getting ready to get super hot.
Yeah, and you look ahead a little bit. This is how the Broncos finished the season. Home to Green Bay, home to the Jags, at Kansas City, home to the Chargers.
Wow.
That's a tough ending schedule if the Jags are playing the way we think they could late in the year. Their offense right now, I think I blame the play calling. I think Sean Payton has, he's got the Cheesecake Factory menu that he holds on the sideline, and they can't really, are you putting Bo Nix in the best spots? They pulled one out of their hat against the Giants, which was probably more about the Giants than the Broncos. I think the Broncos will squeeze into the playoffs, but they will not win the division.
What do you think about the Steelers?
I think they're going to win that division by default. They're at 4-2 right now. The next closest team is 3-4 with Joe Flacco at quarterback. Granted, the Bengals did beat them. Pittsburgh, it looks like everything is hard on offense. And so I think I expected the AFC North with Burrow, Lamar, and Pittsburgh to be Aaron Rodgers to be like totally competitive. But I think Pittsburgh will end up winning division, but I don't see them going very far.
The Ravens at 1-5. Do you give them a chance to get back in this wild card race?
Yeah, well, they're 13th in the conference, and they are 3 games out of the 7th spot. If there's a team and a quarterback that can get hot, I would say yes, but it's got to happen this Sunday.
Right.
You got to beat the Bears at home, because if you're 1-6, then the math does not work. Plus, here's the other thing: you stink on defense right now.
That's the thing, is they don't have that dominating defense that they've been able to utilize in previous years. What about the Bills? You covered the Bills for many years. Obviously, Josh Allen is arguably he's the reigning MVP. It's hard to see the Bills not winning the East, but they've got some holes. How do you assess where Buffalo is?
Yeah, and the demise of their defense has been shocking. That's what but as Jaguar fans can relate to, the Bills had takeaway fever last year. That has dried up, and they cannot stop the run, which they haven't been able to do for a couple of years because of the way that team is built. Jaguar fans can also relate to this. Safety play has been subpar. So they play at Carolina off their bye. They get 2 guys back from suspension on defense this week, Hoyt and Ojulari. They tried, but so they had 6-game suspension, so maybe they can get a boost. I think Maxwell Harrison, his window has been activated. The first-round pick, he has not practiced. They need to get Tre'Davious White off the field. He cannot do it anymore. So there is help on the way with the Bills. I do think they will win the division, but got to beat Carolina, because next week you got the Chiefs coming in, and that will be a tough one. But they still got Miami. They got the Jets. They got the Browns, and the Bengals. So it's in front of them if they can just correct some things on defense.
This thing is wide open.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see how the second half of the season goes. It is a very competitive race in the AFC, and the Jaguars are right in the thick of it.
But the point you made at the beginning of the segment, as I agree with, is right now, if the playoffs were held today, the Chiefs wouldn't be in it. Yet they're our favorites.
Yes. So, we think that is who will ultimately represent the AFC.
I mean, the Jaguars may be able to finish the regular season by saying, we were the last team to beat them.
That's right. When we come back on the Frangie Show, we'll wrap it up. We're going to peek ahead to tonight's game, the Vikings at the Chargers. That's a 3-3 Minnesota at 4-3 LA. That's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll bring in Rick Ballou for the handoff. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Hey, this is Russell Crowe, and you're listening to the best sports radio in the world, 1010XL Jacksonville Sports Radio.
1010XL, 92.5 FM.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The latest future odds on the College Football National Championship. The Ohio State Buckeyes, a betting favorite to win it all at plus 260 and repeat as college football's national champs. The Alabama Crimson Tide, after an opening week loss to Florida State, have it rolling, and they're the second best bet to win the title at plus 650. Indiana, unbeaten at 7-0, plus 800. Notre Dame is plus 1,000. The Oregon Ducks also plus 1,000. Texas A&M plus 1,100. Ty Simpson, quarterback at Alabama, plus 325 to win this year's Heisman Trophy. Indiana QB Fernando Mendoza plus 350.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keysofprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Hey friends, Frank Frangie here. You know me. I don't mess around when it comes to taking care of business. Well, if your plumbing or AC company is giving you excuses, it's time to make a trade. Call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter. They're the trusted partner for some of the biggest commercial names in Northeast Florida. Their office team keeps billing smooth, and their field techs show up ready to fix the problem, fast and right. Bring in the starters with Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Tell them Frank sent you.
It's your boy Big Sirs, All-Pro lineman, and your lemon pepper guy. Nothing screams game day like Wingstop. But get this, every Saturday and Sunday this football season, score big with Wingstop's special deal. Order a 75-piece wing pack online at wingstop.com or the Wingstop app using promo code JAX15. And that's $15 off. Carry out or delivery, it's your call. Use online promo JAX15 or $15 off a 75-piece wing pack. Fire up your game day order this weekend with Wingstop.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
It's holiday season and it's not too late to find the perfect spot to celebrate with your team. Fourscore is a place that brings the energy, where great food, craft drinks, and unreal vibes meet cutting-edge full-swing simulators. Don't play golf? Do not worry. With over 40 interactive games, Fourscore has something that everyone will enjoy. Perfect for company outings, birthdays, and even private events that go beyond the ordinary. With locations in historic San Marco and centrally located Gate Parkway, Fourscore is ready to make your next celebration unforgettable. Hit the easy button and book your event today at fourscoregolf.com.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
The Friday Night Lights are shining even brighter as 1010XL has partnered with Channel 4 to bring you Friday Night Lights, a live streaming show at 7 o'clock every Friday, presented by Farrah and Farrah on the social media channels of 1010XL and Channel 4.
Hayes Carline here. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise Free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter, and you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor, climate-controlled showrooms. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at AtlanticInfinity.com.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
We certainly appreciate our friends at Stanley Pools. Welcome back to The Frangie Show. Hayes Carline here with Ryan O'Halloran and JJ LaSelva. A couple minutes until we bring in Rick Ballou. He tells us what's going on into the night. I'm really excited about this game tonight. Vikings at Chargers. Big game again for the Jaguars. I mean, you need a Minnesota win. It is not too early to start peeking at those standings and try, particularly if the Colts come in with 13 wins, you are in the wild card race. Mm-hmm. I think a big game tonight. What are some keys tonight that we'll be watching for with Vikings and Chargers?
Well, can the Chargers even protect Herbert?
Right.
I mean,
that's been the story of their year.
Yeah, and so that is the story. And then also, if you're the Vikings, Wentz returned to norm, which is turnover prone, and can they create a takeaway or two on a short week? Okay, what does Flores have in store? So, I think the key matchup is the Charger offense against the Vikings defense, because I think the Chargers are going to be able to control the Viking offense.
You like the Chargers tonight?
I do.
Yeah. I do as well. I think if the key is if Joe Alt plays. If Joe Alt plays and he's been out, if the Chargers have him tonight, then I think the Chargers win the game. If not, it could get dicey because they haven't been able to protect Herbert. It's been remarkable. He went from playing at MVP level to the last 2 or 3 weeks. He has no time because of all the injuries. So be interesting to see. Let's see what Rick Ballou thinks about all this.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
We were just sort of going through the contenders in the AFC.
Right.
How about the Patriots? What's been your opinion about New England so far?
Drake May's played really well,
Yeah.
and they'd be even better if Stevenson wasn't always fumbling the football. But Mike Vrabel's a really good coach, and you knew it. I was surprised Tennessee said goodbye to him. He never had a franchise quarterback. He's one of the few guys around that I think can get in players' faces, and they're going to respect him because of what he did as a player. And he's really taken over. They spent a ton of money this year bringing in, proven free agents, so they really beefed up their roster, which is going to be a short-time fix there. But, it comes down to Drake May. He has made some phenomenal passes. I didn't think he was that good.
Yeah.
He didn't seem like he was that good at UNC, but he's been making some big-time plays. So, yeah, it's wide open right now, not only in the NFL, but certainly the AFC as well.
What do you make of the Colts? You think they're going to go to 7-1 because they got the Titans Sunday?
I still don't know if they're on.
But the schedule's brutal after that.
It is. I still don't know if they're on borrowed time. I mean, I think they have arguably the best back in the league. I feel more confident about Drake May and a lot of these other quarterbacks than I do about Daniel Jones. But it seems like that's kind of the weekly conversation, and he keeps proving people wrong. So we'll see. Real quick, to follow up what you guys were talking about, I always thought quarterback was the most difficult position in the NFL. Then I thought it was coverage linebackers. There's always been great run-stuffing coverage linebackers. Right now, it's just simply, can you find a team with 5 average offensive linemen?
Yeah. Okay, in the last, let's say a dozen years in college, it was, they never run block.
Right.
They're never in a 3-point stance. Well, the game has sort of turned back into, okay, they should be ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's no depth. The centers can't snap sometimes. The tackles are turnstiles. I mean, to me, it's like, okay, what kind of coaching are they not getting in college that they're such a blank slate when it comes to the NFL?
Yeah. The big mystery to me was, why can't we have quality heavyweight boxers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big men out there that are tough guys. I mean, I grew up in the 70s, and that was a phenomenal era for heavyweight. But it's tough to find them nowadays, but it feels like offensive linemen, man. They're few and far between.
Without a doubt. What's coming up?
We got a lot of fun tonight. We got a lot of good stuff scheduled. You know, that betting scenario has ripped itself apart. And, of course, the Philly Godfather coming up at 6:33. He was deeply involved in the last NBA point-shaving scandal. And, you know, also involved all the way going back to Leslie Visser when she was on the beat and the Boston College point shaving and Goodfellas. They talk about that stuff coming out of Pittsburgh. Henry Hill / Ray Liotta does. That was right where the Philly Godfather was, deep into that. So here's a man who has a brand new book that's out called Booked. He spent years behind bars, and he's a professional handicapper, and he's made millions. So if anyone knows what's going on, it's going to be him. That's coming up tonight at 6:33.
Great stuff. We'll be listening.
I had a good line. How accurate are your infrared glasses at the poker table?
That is a good line. On that note, we will hand it off. Into the Night with Rick Ballou is up next. For the vacationing Frank Frangie, for JJ LaSelva, for Ryan O'Halloran, I'm Hayes Carline. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5.